What's up, Tsla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with Tesla buying the overall market. I'm also going to talk about some big news that came involving Tesla, but just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total, not to mention 8.1% APY on invested cash. Conference in just 4 days. Anyways, let's talk about what's happening with the market. So, as far as the market's going, there's a bit of a downtrend right here, at least on Tesla and SPY. And just know that there was this news that's come out involving Tesla. So, Hertz is selling many of its Tesla EVs, trying to get rid of many of their inventory. The news is coming out that they are selling them for about with prices at around $17,913 for their Model 3. Edmunds has come out and they're estimating that the used Model 3 that they have is used at a price between 26,000 and 39,831, depending on the variant options and other factors like that. Now, we don't know the exact condition, how well they've been maintained and stuff like that, but $17,900 seems like a very, very low price, and it looks like they're really just trying to get rid of as many of them as possible. It could be that they're just trying to get rid of them so that they could replace them with different vehicles out there. It could be that they're not as interested in these particular models as much, and there could be many reasons why they're doing this. But if anything, I just want to say that with this going on, they are trying to kind of like refresh their overall fleet. So that's what's essentially going on, and there could be many other factors for why they're doing this. I'm not going to go over the full details, but this is what's coming out. This is a little bit more negative news, but I don't really think that's enough to cause us to dump this hard. There must be other factors, such as the fact that the whole market is coming down. So as far as Tesla goes, we're barely holding support right now. If you look at the 4-hour time frame, Tesla's not looking that great. We're actually below our support at the 50 EMA. We have to see if we close above or below 432. If we close below that, there is going to be a risk of us retesting the low from the day at 427, if not 425. And then if that fails us, our next critical support is going to be at like this 415 area. If that fails us, then yes, Tesla will be a lot more bearish, forming a double top. So just keep that in mind, guys. There's that risk of us getting a big rejection. We'll see where we close, but for now, I just want to say we still look very weak despite the fact that Tesla is trying to hold above its low of the day. For SPY, we pushed a bit after getting this big rejection. We pushed a bit only to reject again. Not looking too good, and here's the reason why. When you look at the 30 minutes time frame on SPY, it's just rejection after rejection. So, for instance, we got this big rejection down here, rebounded, rejected, made an attempt to rebound only to reject. So it looks more bearish, and this looks like it could continue to dip to the lows going into next week, if not lose them. And on the 4-hour time frame, our very, very key head and shoulders like structure still remains. So it's still present, and this is not the best of news. That could lead to more downside if we end up losing 592 and then eventually 590. ES looks more bearish. We're looking for 6,000 to see if it holds. If not, this could be dumping for about 59.80, then eventually 59.50. So look for some downside, especially as we have this left shoulder here ahead and then a right shoulder forming. So just keep that in mind. For Nvda is also forming like the head and shoulders. There's a left shoulder here. There's a head and a right shoulder. We have this resistance to watch for at 137. If we don't break past that, there's going to be a risk of this dipping a little bit lower. So we'll see how well Nvidia tries to hold up. Going into next week, I'm going to be watching to see if we could hold above 137. If not, there's going to be that risk of further downside. For Bitcoin, we look a little bit weaker. We also have a head and shoulders like structure. There is going to be a risk of us retesting like the 92,800 area unless we get a bounce above 95,000. So be careful with it. For NQ, we look a little weaker. We're going to be watching 21,500 going into next week. We still look a little bit weaker, but we'll see if we hold that or not. We're still trying to hold up on supports on the QQQ and NQ. But if we don't end up holding these supports, we could be dipping lower. If 520 fails us going into next week, we're going to be looking for a continuation lower. With this big red bar and potentially a dip coming, so this does have the risk of downside. For Apple, we look a little bit weaker. We have this resistance around 256. If we can't break past that, there's going to be a risk of continuing to fall back down to 252.5 or below. For the IWM Russell 2000, we're also rejecting here. We need to see if we can reclaim 223. Otherwise, this is going to be at risk of dipping to about 220. For coin is on a bit of a downtrend. We are not getting back above 273. This could be dipping lower to this imbalance down here around 257. Amazon, has the same thing going on. We're rejecting, but we're still holding these lows here. We got to hold 222, otherwise there's going to be a risk of more downside next week. This still looks a little bit more bearish to me, so 220 is on the cards. Meta dumped quite a bit back down to 588 as predicted, but now we're getting bought back up. We have to reclaim at least 604 to turn back up. Otherwise, this is going to be at risk of dipping lower. Unfortunately, there's a bit of a downtrend here, and then we have these imbalances below, which makes me a little bit more worried. So this looks a little bit bearish. If you look at the overall structure of this looks like it might be retesting 588 next week. Microsoft is looking weaker. This might try to retest 431. That might be a small bounce that comes. If you reject there, then we could be dumping lower. We'll see about that. And then Google's on a bit of a downtrend. We have to see if we hold 192. If not, this could be dipping lower as well. With that being said, guys, there's weakness on Tesla. We may continue this decline, but we have deliveries coming out for next week, so it's going to be very, very mixed. For now, we look bearish, at least technically speaking, but we'll see if we get some kind of bounce approaching deliveries. And then deliveries will be the next major factor for Tesla, causing either a big rug pull or a big pump. So we'll see how it goes with that. Until I see you guys again, thank you for listening and peace out.